advances to the Final Four.
Shout out Chillinois Basketball Podcast.
Shout out to Chillinois Podcast.
Shout out Chillinois Podcast.
Shout out Chillinois Basketball, man.
Welcome back to the Chillinois Basketball Podcast. Chase Swearingen here, as always, with Noah Morgano. This is the recap we really didn't want to have to do, and sorry it's coming out so late. Noah, unfortunately, was so devastated by the loss on Friday that he got the flu. He's been sick to his stomach about this game. No, I'm kidding. He actually is pretty sick. So we've had some scheduling issues, but we are going to do a quick recap of this one and then talk about the Oregon game, which will be at the time of recording tomorrow. But nonetheless, the Illini lose 84 to 70 and potentially, possibly, most likely the biggest matchup they'll have all season, unless we get like a crazy Elite Eight game or something. It was not pretty. It was pretty for about 8 minutes of the game. The Illini were up 16 to 11 with like 12 something remaining in the first half, and then shit hit the fan and they beat our ass. And there were videos after the game of Morez Johnson and Yaxel Lendenberg doing the same thing the Illini did when they've beaten teams on the road. They walked in your trap and took over your trap. We're going to give a quick breakdown for this one, just about what we saw, but there are some storylines that came out of this game we want to discuss as well. And then after that, we want to move on and forget this game ever happened. Michigan did secure the Big Ten title. They are the regular season conference champions. Respect to them. They're a really good team, as we saw on Friday. Noah, I don't know about you, but this was the first time, I guess, since the UConn game, I just really felt like we were outclassed. And it's easy to say that, I guess, because when you look at the Illinois schedule and their losses are in overtime and one possession games besides the UConn game and this Michigan game. But it had been nearly 2.5 months since we felt like, I don't know about you, but since I felt like, holy shit, this Illinois team is getting their ass beat right now. And it was even more depressing that it was Morez Johnson doing most of the damage. Yaxel Lendenberg has officially taken over like my most hated player #1 spot. Like honestly, at this point, Morez, like respect to him for coming in, dealing with all that hate. Yaxel Lendenberg, on the other hand, and we'll get to it in a little bit, just a weirdo. He's like a 23-year-old dude, like every possession, and I get he's playing good defense, but he's like breathing on Keaton Wagler. Like there's shots of him, like Keaton's dribbling the ball up the court, and he's like huffing and puffing, like inches from his face. Like just weird stuff from a 23-year-old college basketball player that should probably be in the NBA at this point. I'm just coping at this point, though. So, no, how did you feel in that game? Because to me, it was like after we took that 16 to 11 lead, I think Morez made a dunk. I think they got an offensive rebound putback. And then they hit a three or two, and it was like, yeah, we're not going to win this game. That's how I felt, at least. What about you?
Yeah, honestly, let's end the video. We don't even need to talk about Michigan. We don't need to talk about Morez. We don't need to talk about Yaxel. I can't remember. What was that comparison I came up with him? I had a pretty good line for him last episode, but that's the
I
thing.
think you called him Yaxel Linden boring.
No, but that's good. I didn't come up with that, but that's pretty decent. But he's just such oh my I mean, and then he like doxed Merck and like exposed his phone number. I mean, not that anyone is gonna send Merck hate texts because Merck will show up to your house with a freaking battle axe and chop your door down.
Hmm.
But I mean, that game. Listen, I can't hate on Yaxel for doing that because I would have done the same thing, man. I would have done the same exact thing. But it's just it was the moment, everything building up to that. I mean, it had so much energy. Illinois needed to win that game, and it was the fact that they got destroyed. I mean, if it was a close game, I don't think that Michigan is gonna do the stuff that they did, but it's the fact that they beat the crap out of us, and so they let it be known, that's for sure. I mean, I thought Morez was probably more humble than all of them, even though he had the most reason to talk crap, but I thought Brad was pretty respectful of the whole situation. Really, everybody in the line in the handshake line looked like they were because there was a video came out behind Mraz, and it would showed every Illinois player, dapping him up. Really, the only one that looked sour was Merck. He was not happy about that game. I mean, you could tell he was pretty frustrated about that loss. Everybody else was like, "Oh, what's up, man?" I'm sure all the players, no hard feelings. Even Tommy, they embraced. But God, that game. I was watching the first half, and then first half ended, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna watch the second half because I think I'm jinxing it. Which this is every game at this point. I mean, I couldn't tell you if I've made it through a single game this year. And so I'm thinking, oh, I'm jinxing it. I'm gonna stop watching. And then they just get destroyed in the second half. So maybe I was the only reason that they were hanging around. I don't know. It's a tough one. Somehow we lose two in a row and we only drop one spot in the rankings, which is hilarious. Shout out to the AP. I mean, finally Illinois is getting the respect they deserve. A few years ago, we would have been out of the rankings, but I think it's the fact that we got two easy games coming up, so they probably expect us to win those. Um, yeah, just embarrassing. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's depressing. I've considered smashing Baba Such on the ground. I don't know. I don't even know what to do. I don't know what we can do to reverse this two-game losing streak.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend for sure, especially dealing with a lot of Michigan fans. We had the other Noah that was supposed to be on the pregame podcast. I told him he couldn't take the heat, so get out of the kitchen. And then he sent me some egregious texts after Michigan had won. So I've been getting all kinds of. I heard from a Michigan fan that I haven't heard from in 5 months, and he said, "Can I be on the recap podcast?" And I said, "Absolutely not." But
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. Right after the win, right after the Michigan win, and I don't even know if I'll be able to find it now, but this guy, oh, here it is. This was the post that they made when Merez left Illinois and committed to Michigan. 47 weeks ago, April 1st, 2025. I commented on that post and said it was just a joke comment. Said, "Oh, he just wants to lose to his old program. Get ready for that annual belt session." This dude replies with a bunch of laughing, crying emojis.
he kept
Bro,
receipts.
he kept receipts to a T 47 weeks ago. I mean, he either had that bookmarked or he must have scrolled. I don't know how he remembered
Here's
that
here's
post.
my here's my
He must have when
explanation
that
for how
trade
that happened.
happened, when that happened, he must have just taken screenshots every account, every comment. It's just insane.
But you have to keep in mind, because I got a lot of hate too. I think I commented before the game when they showed like the Orange Crush lining up outside the State Farm Center. Illinois men's basketball had posted like a video of all the students lining up before the game, and I commented, and it ended up being the most liked comment. It just Muck Forez, Muck Fishigan. You know, everybody always we always have the shirts that say Muck Fishigan, so I said Muck Forez as well. Um, After the game, I had two separate Michigan fan accounts like bump the message and like pin the message like tough for you guys. And my response to it was just my genuine response to it was, you guys are really weird that you spend your time after a game, after a victory, when you should be like celebrating. Like, I'd probably be out at a bar had we won that game, like getting myself trashed because I'm happy. Instead, these Michigan fans spend their time trolling in the Illinois men's basketball Instagram account, like taking receipts of it. Like, I guess good for them.
I'd be
They're
in
good
Michigan.
trolls.
I'd
They're
be
good trolls.
I'd be deep in Michigan subreddits. Oh, 10 in a row, 10 in a
I mean,
row.
they are good trolls, but I will admit one of them took it a little too far. I think he saw my profile photo, and I have another friend of mine who's a guy in my profile photo, and we were like at some concert, and he was like, "Why don't you and your boyfriend go back to Champagne and cry about it?" So I reported the comment because I was like,
Wow.
"Dude, are
So
you
Michigan fans are homophobic. Okay,
well,
that's
I
good to
said
know.
that. I said, "Are you really gonna like make homophobic comments in an Illinois men's basketball chat right now?" And the guy, and then I reported his comment, and then he got mad because it got deleted, and then he went on like an absolutely like terrible, like anti-gay, homophobic tirade against me, and I was like, "Dude!" But then
Well,
you have to remember, Noah, these are the Michigan fans that didn't actually attend Michigan. They're just living in like Ypsilanti near Detroit and all they have to do is like be hyped about Michigan because that's in their entire life. And we can't really say anything because we didn't go to Illinois, but
and let me say this. Chillinois basketball podcast historically has been pro-gay, except the one remark about Dusty Gay, and we take that back. We took
you
that
did take
back.
it
We
back.
did, we didn't mean that. So
No, it was just
we're
low-hanging fruit and you said it. So
right. Right. Well, then you reiterated it, right? He's trying to throw me under the bus.
No, no,
Classic,
no. We're not.
classic
We're not.
Chase.
We're very pro LGBTQ community on this podcast, and if you're not, and if you're a Michigan fan, double the hate to you. But enough about Michigan fans trolling us in the comments.
We
That's
gotta
like
get a gay person on the podcast. Can we get a gay guy on here or what?
I have some friends. I'm sure they join. I don't know how much they know about Michigan or Illinois basketball, but nonetheless, let's get into the stats on this one before we end the Michigan discussion. Lendenberg, actually, sorry, Morris Johnson was the Ken Palm MVP, 19 points, 11 rebounds against its old team. Tough to watch a guy who was so beloved by Illinois fans leave and then have such a good game against his former team. He really talked the talk and walked the walk in that one. Yaxel Lendenberg, who we'll get
Dude,
to in
when he hit that three, when
dude,
Merez hit that three, I almost shit my pants.
that was
I was
such a
like,
gut punch. Like at that point in the game, it didn't really matter that he hit the three, but you could hear the whole Michigan bench go boom
they
and like,
left him wide open too. Like
oh,
they're
it
like,
was tough.
shoot it, just shoot
He
it, dude.
airballed another one in the second half, but like nonetheless, like it was still. Um, I mean the whole starting roster for the Wolverines really played well. I think the turning point in the second half was really when it got out of hand when Mara started taking over. The Ivisic brothers had absolutely no answer for him, whether you put Tomislav on him, whether you put Zvonimir on him, whether you stuck Mirkovic on him. Mara got whatever he wanted. That kind of started the run for them in the second half. I think they opened it up to 21 points, and then it was just downhill sledding from there. The Illini brought it back to 14 by the end of the game, but all in all, tough to watch. And if we're going to give anybody any credit on Michigan, I have to point out Morris Johnson Jr., unfortunately. They did take a hit in this game. LJ Kaysen, their freshman, tore his ACL, and he'll be out for the rest of the season. He is probably one of the, not probably, he is one of the best backup point guards in all of college basketball. So to see him go down is a huge hit to their Final Four hopes. I think they're going to take this and run with it though. But Kaysen going down is a big blow for them. Not that it helps the Illini in the future, but like maybe if we face them in the Final Four, face them in the Big Ten tournament, we'll see. Maybe that plays a role. But
Well,
they're
good
pretty.
thing they got Merez Johnson. He can just play point guard. They don't need another backup point guard.
Yeah, we can let Morez dribble the ball down the floor and see how that goes for them. Um, Now, in terms of Illinois players, I guess Keaton Wagler gets the MVP. If anybody, he scored 23 points, which is just typical of Keaton at this point. I think I said he'd be the MVP, but that was cherry picking of me. You can't really just say Keaton's going to be the MVP and call it and feel good about it because he's pretty much the MVP in every game at this point. Keaton played the best out of anybody. I would say Mirkovic actually played a pretty phenomenal game. Did you notice that one like step through Euro step he had in the first half and the whole Michigan bench was going crazy for a travel? That was one of the swiftest moves I've ever seen a 6'9" forward make in my life. It was very Jokic-esque, and I love that. I think Kylan brought some tenacity at least, especially in the first half. I really wanted them to just keep giving it to Kylan because he kind of got whatever. But they focused in on that on the second half, and then it was like Kylan can't shoot. We're giving him the Jalen Tate treatment. Remember Jalen Tate for Illinois back when he played with Kendrick Nunn? It was like they into the
Well,
lane. It was the same thing as a Ty Rodgers treatment, essentially. You can't shoot a jump shot, we'll stand at the free throw line and make you shoot it.
I do like this about Merck. I like the fact that we lost, and then he immediately drops the Finsta. He's like,
Yeah.
yo, check out the Finsta. Not kidding. Right after we lost, Andrei Stojakovic reposts that 20 NBA 2K26 college post that all the
You
players
were
were
pissed
posting.
about that.
Well, dude, he posts it, I mean, literally right after the loss, and he turns the comments off,
I mean, this is
obviously.
this is a perfect point for us to kind of
Because
turn this
this no,
over.
like this is what happened. They were all paid to post that, and
Mhm.
he had forgot, and he's like, "Shit, I gotta post that like by midnight, or they're not gonna pay me." And so he's like, "Fuck it, I gotta post it right now. I guess I'm just gonna turn the comments off."
I mean, smart of him to turn the comments off. It would have been a lot of Michigan fans with with homophobic comments on the
Oh.
Instagram. But I mean, that actually gives us a perfect opportunity to kind of get into the second half of the recap of this Michigan game because there were some storylines that came out of it, outside of just the stats, outside of just the loss, outside of just what it meant for the rest of the Illini season. And we'll start with Andrei Stojakovic because you brought it up first. He had probably the worst game in his career, 0 for 2 from the field, 12 minutes, no points, one rebound, one turnover. I said this earlier in the season about Jake Davis, and my dad laughed at it. Andrei Stojakovic was just doing cardio out there yesterday. Or sorry, not yesterday, but on Friday. And there were reports that came out in, I think it was Club Trillionaire. Don't quote me on that because I don't want to get anybody in trouble or anything. But he has a Discord, I believe, Mark Titus, and there were rumors, people who are supposed insiders, and I'm putting that in air quotes, saying that this is kind of the beginning of the end for Andre with Illinois. Not that he's going to like leave the team like Chad Baker Mazara did, but people aren't thrilled with how much we're paying him in NIL money and the output of performances that he's displaying in return. And there seems to be some growing animosity on both sides between Brad originally saying he was hurt and he might not make the California trip, and then he played really well against USC, and then he didn't play very well against UCLA at all, and then he had the worst game of his career against Michigan. Are you worried about where that puts him in a headspace for the rest of the season? Because I still think Andre is important to this team, obviously. I think the best version of this Illinois team has Andre scoring 15 to 16 points every night. Um, but this is kind of a theme with Brad Underwood teams too, where somebody gets kind of like exiled. Like last year it was Trey White. Um, the year before, I mean, even KJ had some issues with the roster.
Sky Clark.
Sky Clark. Like it just seems like every year there's somebody that at the end of the year doesn't agree with what this team is trying to do, or they're like, I'm better than my role on this
Carrie
team.
Booth.
Well, I don't know if
Carrie
Carrie Booth
Booth
was
was
ever
more of a
complacent.
first day on the team kind of situation.
I don't know if Carrie Booth was ever like complacent or outspoken about it, but like it seems like it's kind of a recurring theme. And are you worried about this for the rest of the season? Because I do think if Illinois is going to make a Sweet 16 run, make an Elite Eight run, and fans are talking like that's crazy at this point, but we're going to need Andre. We can't just leave him on the bench.
I mean, it's unfortunate. I think clearly the clavicular frame mogging incident has gotten to Andre, and he's shaken up about the whole situation. But no, in all seriousness,
Deep
I
hole. You might have to mansplain that to people about what that is.
if
Don't do it, but
if you don't know about the clavicular frame mogging situation, just don't even worry about it. But no, on Andre, the thing I worry about with Andre is he's one of those guys, new school every year. Obviously, I don't even think Illinois would want him back next year, but I don't think he would really want to come back necessarily with everything that's kind of going on right now. But it's like you want to play him because he's good, but at the same time, I mean, in an ideal situation, he's only playing 15 minutes a game. And I think he wants to be a guy where he's playing 25 minutes a game, 30 minutes a game. And maybe he came to this team with those expectations that he was going to be the guy. And then, because nobody expected Keaton to be Keaton. So, I don't know, maybe he's just jealous. Maybe it's just a little bit of he's ready to like one foot out the door. Whatever. It's crazy to say that. Bro, the tournament's about to start. Just like finish the year. You have a few weeks left. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Just play basketball. You're getting paid probably $1 million, $2 million. I don't know how much he's getting paid this year. Probably a couple. And you're whining. It's like, I don't know if he's actually whining, but he has no reason to. And I can't imagine that his dad would encourage that kind of behavior. I mean, you'd think his dad would be like, "Come on, focus," because these NBA scouts, they're looking at that kind of thing. They're looking at the fact that he's, you know, not playing good down the stretch in these crucial games, and they're like, "Okay, wow, well, great that you can put up 30 against Chicago State, but that doesn't mean much when you're in the NBA." So I don't know what it is. I hope it's just rumors, and because a lot of rumors have been coming out this year, and then it seems like they're not true. And all like, oh, Brad and Merck are fighting, and then the next day they're in the sauna together, hanging out, posting pictures, whatever. So hopefully it's just rumors, and there's no, nothing serious. And I can't imagine. I mean, it's not like a Chad Baker Mazara situation where he's leaving the team at the end of the season, like getting kicked off
well,
the team. So
yeah,
hopefully
no,
not.
he's not getting kicked off, and he's not leaving the team immediately. But It's growing more and more likely that he might not be in an Illini uniform the next season. But based on
Which
how
I'm not mad at that. Quite honestly, if we want to be a championship caliber team, I think we need to get somebody that meshes a little bit better than Andre. He's just
yeah,
such a he's great if you're like having a one-on-one tournament. But unfortunately, basketball is 5-on-5, so he's not an ideal teammate necessarily.
yeah, and we'll definitely get into like after the season's over, we'll talk about who's probably leaving, or we'll have a lot of stuff to recap once the season officially is done. Um, so I don't want to get too much into the Andre talk about whether he fits into the team next year, but I'm also a huge fan of retention, especially in this time of NIL and people playing for four schools in 4 years. I think the more retention you can have, the better. I just see Andre is not the type of guy. I don't know.
He's the type of guy you want to build your offense around. He's not the type of guy who you want to have play off on the side because then he gets really weird about it. Like if they wanted to
Yeah,
build their play their offense around him, I could get down with that. Maybe like and it's like, do you want to keep Big T, Big Z? It's like I want to, but then you got the whole crowd like, oh, what they should have just kept Merez, and it's like, well, that's not going to win you a championship. Like we had that and better with Kofi, and we didn't even make it to a Sweet 16. Maybe we made it to a Sweet 16. But I don't think so now with Kofi. And it's like I think the future is what Brad's doing with the 3-point shooting bigs. I mean, I think that's the way to go. So I don't know if that means bring Big T and Big Z back. Personally, I think you should. I mean, you have a couple losses, okay, but they did build the number one Ken Palm offense of all time, right? I mean, we do remember that. So that did happen. I don't see why you'd want to go away from that. I mean, defensively, I can understand it, but then maybe that's where you just get rid of Andre or you get rid of, whoever, Ben, because Ben's leaving anyway, and you get somebody that's much more defensive. So I don't know. I want to see everybody come back, obviously, because I like all these guys. But with Kylan leaving, that's going to be a big part. That was one of the main reasons that Andre came, because him and Kylan really gelled. So if Kylan's leaving, Andre, is not going to be as close to this newer group of guys. And I don't know how close he really is to all the other guys. He seems more closer to Kylan and Keaton. But I don't know, maybe he's racist against European people or something. But
the
this
European himself.
this has been a very controversial episode. We're bringing up homophobia, we're bringing up racism. I mean, we're just mad right now because we lost to Michigan. Normally, this is a very mundane episode, but we got a belt session, so it's getting a little wild today.
Yeah, and I literally just said we're not going to get into all of that, and we'll do that on the in the in the postseason. And you dove right in, so it was like you're ready to talk about next season, huh?
Well, because
Um,
everybody's in the comments saying like, we should have brought Merez back. We should have brought Merez back. And it's just like, I don't know. Maybe he's doing good because he's on a better team. I mean, we don't have a Yaxel Lendenborg. We don't have, I mean, even somebody like Elliot Cadeau, he's really, really good and they paid a lot of money to get him. I mean, we have Kylan Boswell and Kylan Boswell's great. But it's like, we can't get the top guys because we don't have the same NIL as a team like Michigan or a team like Indiana or some of these other programs. And that's one, it's like Indiana, figure it out. You got unlimited bankroll and your starting point guards, Connor Enright. I mean, DePaul, and we're going to mention DePaul, but DePaul's doing better than Indiana right now. Get DePaul on the bubble. Forget Indiana. They suck butt. I mean, I was watching that Michigan State game. 2 minutes in, I'm like, why am I watching this? Indiana's going to lose. They're not good. They're going to lose this game. And they were losing the entire game. At no point did Indiana look like they were going to win that basketball game. And it's just like Illinois is on that same level right now of just like, they're not getting the top guys. Now, Illinois' reason is financially. Indiana's reason is they just don't know how to recruit. So, I mean, quite frankly, Illinois got lucky with Keaton. If Keaton Wagler doesn't turn out to be the Keaton Wagler that he is, if he's just mid, like we thought he was going to be, we're talking about a team that's probably ranked closer to the 2025 range and sitting like at a 4 or 5 seed in the tournament because I mean, quite frankly, we'd probably be unranked without Keaton. He's won us so many big games, and it scares me. It's like we just got $100 million donation from Larry Geese, and Larry Geese is like, no, it's only for the football program. We're not using it for the basketball program. I'll consider it, but I really only want it to be for football. It's like, hey, Larry, Bielema's not doing enough. Give Brad some money. Bielema, he's rebuilding right now. He doesn't need the money right now. Brad needs the money right now, and it's way cheaper anyway. Just throw him a little cut of meat. You don't need to give him the whole cake. Just give him a little piece of the pie. I, it's upsetting because Brad's I mean, people get mad at Brad, but it's like if Brad was had a roster like a UConn or a Kansas or any of these other teams, I think he could win a championship. I think that it's the NIL and it's the talent pool that he has to choose from that's holding him back. Merez wanted a bag. That's one of the reasons he left. Michigan probably paid him $3 million. Illinois couldn't afford that. So I don't know. I'm just ranting at this point.
Is this your flu game? Like that was a tear you just went on, and you talked about like multiple subjects where I was like, "We'll get to this later. We'll get to this later," and you just addressed it. Is this a flu game for you?
Dude, it's just my built up anger and rage from watching that game because I knew Friday morning I woke up and I wasn't feeling very good and I just had a bad feeling for the rest of the day. I'm just like, it's not going to be a good sign for the game. And as soon as it started, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I thought the crush was pretty good,
They were
but
phenomenal, you know.
and I just feel bad for the fans. Like you said, they were like waiting outside for like all the whole day. I mean, they like camped out overnight for that, for a belt session. And it's like, I don't know who you blame. It's like, do you blame Brad? Do you blame it was very UConn-esque with the run in that second half? I don't know. I still stand behind Brad. I think Brad's a great coach. I mean, if anything, I think the players could have probably done a little bit better. I still think that Brad is, the way to go. I think if you get rid of Brad, you're asking for your program to be back in mediocrity. The only reason that we're sitting in the position where we go, we deserve a better coach than Brad Underwood is because Brad Underwood has got our program to that position. If we were in this Illinois program 8 years ago, we would be like, what? 22-7, top three seed in the tournament?
Six
Yes,
straight 21
please.
seasons.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. And now we're like, get him out. We need an NBA coach to come. We want who do we expect at this point? We're
I
gonna get Doc Rivers. It's just like, dude, I don't get it.
Last overarching point here I want to make before we dive into I do want to talk about David Merkovich for a second and then we'll get into the Oregon preview. But I texted my friend Alec, who is a big Illinois fan. He is also a Premier League soccer fan like myself, and him and I grew up together. I've been a Tottenham fan since I was about 12 years old, and I know you know nothing about the I don't know, Noah. Do you know anything about the Premier League? You don't watch soccer, do you?
No, I thought that was something that Gordon Ramsay did on NBC, but no,
No.
keep going.
If anybody that's listening or watching this podcast is a Premier League soccer fan, my biggest comparison in all of sports is Illinois is very similar to Tottenham. And I texted Alec this, so I'm bringing up the text right now. Illinois, I said, started with this. Illinois kind of reminds me of Tottenham. They have talent a lot of the times, but it feels like these schools that are blue bloods look down on Illinois because they always lose in the big game. And then they just kind of outplay us, even if the talent is pretty even. It's almost like a psychological thing at this point, I said. It just kind of feels the same way if you watch Tottenham soccer or football if you're English. Um, Tottenham had a lot of talent. They made the Champions League final like 5 years ago at one point. It was like, oh my God, we have this great coach. We have all this talent. But it just feels like the best teams in the world are like, oh, this is Tottenham. Same way that college basketball teams are like, oh, this is Illinois. They always lose in the big opportunity. They always lose in the big game. And even if we had the most talented team in the world, I just think like psychologically sometimes that gets in your head. Illinois always loses to Michigan. Not historically in the last 9 matchups, the 10 matchups, but um, that's the point I made, and I just felt like it was pretty spot on, especially if you watch soccer. Nonetheless,
Are
I
you a
don't want to
big
talk
Ted
about.
Lasso guy? You seem like a big Ted Lasso
I did
guy.
like Ted Lasso. First two seasons were great. The third season was crap, and now they're renewing it without Ted Lasso in it, and I'm not really like without Jason Sudeikis. Uh,
Ted Lasso with no Ted Lasso. Then what's the show going to be called?
I don't know. I've heard it's weird. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it right now because then we're going to go on another tangent about it. But first two seasons of that show were
You know,
great.
the only way I'd watch it if they replaced Ted Lasso with Jelly Roll and they just called it Jelly Roll.
You had to mention it at some point. It wasn't a Chillinois basketball podcast unless we brought up Jelly Roll. Now, last point about the Michigan game before we're done with that, turning the page and getting into March. Um, David Mirkovich played a pretty okay game. I would say pretty strong game for like his rebounding at least. Illinois got out rebounded in this one. He had 10 rebounds, so he was like the key in that. Um, he was 5 for 10, shot 50%. He had some good plays. I thought he had a lot of hustle. 12 and 10, double double against Michigan, and usually most of the time Yaxel Lindenberg was guarding him or Morris Johnson was guarding him. Anyways, post game, as Michigan was celebrating, as they should. They won a road Big Ten game against a top 10 opponent. That's something to celebrate. But we got a video clip of Morez Johnson and Yaxel Lendenberg shoulder to shoulder, arm around each other. And Yaxel, the 23-year-old college player, um, was talking about obviously David Mirkovich. And he said something along the lines of, I'm not going to remember it exactly off the top of my head, but it was like, David, like, what's his name? What's his name? They said he was going to have 30. I don't know who was guarding him, but he didn't have 30. Merka shit. Um,
And it's like, why not call him Merca bitch? Because that at least sounds like his last name.
well, I thought Merka shit was pretty funny, but still,
No,
like,
but Merca bitch is way funnier.
I mean, to each their own. But like, what are we doing, Yaxel Lendenberg? Like, right? Like, I get you're
Right,
excited to
exactly.
celebrate. Like the whole walk in your trap, take over your trap, completely warranted, completely justified to make a video and do that. Morris Johnson celebrating like he won the Super Bowl, honestly, completely justified. He just beat his old team that a lot of fans had talked crap about him. He was public enemy number one in the State Farm Center on Friday night, so obviously that's a big thing for him. But what are you doing, Yaxel? You're calling out a 19-year-old who's going to be in the NBA playing against you in like a year's time, and he's going to, by the time he's 23, he's going to be a world's better player than you ever will be. Um, Also, Yaxel, I'm not really sure how he's passing Michigan classes because I know Michigan fans love to talk about how great of a school it is academically, and it is, but he doesn't know the difference between a silent S and like he called Illinois Illinois, which is like,
Yeah, and
what?
let us know in the
Did you take
comments.
offense?
Let us
Did
know in
you,
the comments. Merca shit or Merca bitch?
but did you
Which
take
one is
offense to that? Like, is
better?
that not ridiculous to you? Like, I guess if I'm a fan of Michigan, like I would think that was pretty funny. But like, wouldn't you also be like, to me, the way I took this is, and I texted other Noah, Michigan fan Noah, and I said, this Michigan team is really good. Like, don't get me wrong. We were outclassed by them on Friday night. This Michigan team is great. I think they're going to make a deep March run. But at the same time, teams that get so high on their own shit sometimes, like the way Yaxel was like celebrating after he hit that three, after I think he like airballed one and then clanked two off the backboard before he finally made one. And he was screaming like a banshee after he made his first three to put Michigan up like what 9 or 8 points. And I just see these teams sometimes where they have these guys that are very, and it's good. If you're playing well and you're getting excited for your own team, good. But sometimes it's just a little overdone, and it seemed a little overdone on Friday night. And I get it was a big game for them, but like
It's his
sometimes
first year at a real university. He's never been at a real college other than his little community colleges that he plays at. Where
and
did he
that
go to school before he played at UAB? Is that right?
UAB, yeah.
Yeah. Rockford University probably has more students enrolled than UAB. He's at a real school now and he's like, oh,
To me, it just seems like
Illinois, oh.
this is the classic team where they get really hyped on their own shit and they're really scary to play against, but then some 13 mid-major conference team
Yeah.
plays them in March and is like, we don't give a crap. No, there's the video. Doesn't this seem like the classic case where like a 13 is going to beat somebody and it could be Michigan just because this 13
And then
seed
look at that.
doesn't give a
They
crap about
leaked his
yeah.
phone number. They totally, so first of all,
No, they actually leaked. You had that wrong. They leaked Morez Johnson's phone number.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
What what
that was an Illinois fan texting Morez Johnson.
what did they text him? I didn't see the text.
It was
It's
like It was like F you, you're the like scum of the earth. Like it was pretty bad stuff.
Yeah, I'm reading them now.
It was
They're
pretty
vulgar.
crazy.
I'm not going to say them, but what they are not is homophobic. Illinois fans are not homophobic. That's Michigan fans. And they're racist. Okay, we made that last one up, but they are confirmed homophobic.
Yeah, I mean against us at least.
Yes. And no, me and Chase are not gay. We're not a gay couple. So technically, you know, I guess maybe they are not homophobic, but we can be gay if that's what it takes.
Uh okay.
All
I didn't even
right.
know where to go. I didn't
That's
even know where to
great
go from there.
news.
Anyways, Merkovich was called Merka shit. I didn't like that very much. We're gonna close the chapter. Let me grab a book. I don't have any books in my room actually. I said that like I had a
No,
book.
we can't close the chapter. We're gonna play him for the Big Ten championship, baby. Big Ten
Okay,
tournament.
what I mean, even better. If you're gonna call him Merka shit and then we're gonna play you again. If you're gonna call him Merka shit and then
What
we're
if
gonna
they
play you
beat
again.
us by even more points?
Let's hope not. All right, enough Michigan talk. They beat us 84-70 Friday night. Chapter closed. Illinois has another game tomorrow. They play Oregon, who has been really, really disappointing this year. Dana Altman is actually a very good coach and has had had Oregon in a very good spot in recent years. I believe he's brought them to a Final Four. But this is not a very good Oregon team at the moment. It doesn't help that their best player, Jackson Shellstead, has been injured after 12 games. He's out for the season, so he will not play tomorrow. Um, this one in the State Farm Center last year, the Illini rolled a ranked Oregon team on the road. A completely different team, but a lot of key players for the Illini came back last year or came back from last year. And I don't know. This is a game where if this Illinois team is weak-minded and they're still going to be complacent about how they lost to Michigan and they're going to bury their heads in their hoods and be upset about it, I could see Oregon making this game really close. But on paper, on Ken Palm, this should be an absolute blowout, just like it was last year. Oregon is 11 and 18. They're 16th in the Big Ten. Their best player is Nate Biddle, who was on the team last year. He's that 7 foot center who's balding. He looks like a monk at this point. But he is really good. He averages
He's got to go to one of them TikTok barbers that turns the white dudes
bro.
with the bad hair and they
He's
give them
got
the
the
fresh
worst
fade.
hair in college basketball.
No, the worst hair in college basketball is that Powell kid for Providence. That
Oh.
dude's got a messed up wig.
But that was like by choice. Like Nate Biddle's hair is not by choice, unfortunately for
Well, that's
him.
the reason it's bad. I mean, if you're purposefully rocking that haircut, you're
Yeah.
crazy. You're out of your mind. I feel for Biddle. I mean, listen, you can't tell, but I'm going through a little bit of a, receding situation. Maybe you can
I don't
tell.
know. I
Don't
don't know
don't
it. No, I don't know.
don't leave a comment either way. Don't let me know. I don't want to face reality. But Biddle, I mean, I feel for him, but it's like, bro, just like I'm telling you, you'll be a free man if you just chop it off and you just got to grow out the facial hair.
I mean, lack of hair, but abundance of skill on the basketball court. Like I said, 17 and 7 a game. He's 7 foot. He can hit a three, so he plays very similar to the Ivisic brothers. Their next best player is probably Kwame Evans Jr. He was also on this team last year, averages 13 and 7 too. Takai Simpsons is pretty good. Takai Simpkins, I'm sorry. Guy I'm most worried about on this Oregon team is Wei Lin. He's from China. He is their version of Lin Sanity. And at times this season, he has shown he can drop 25 on you if he wants to. He only averages 17 minutes a game, and been in a little bit of a slump. But Wei Lin, very similar. Gosh, I'm gonna blank on his name, and I shouldn't. What was the guy in Nebraska? Who was the guy in Nebraska? The little Asian guy, the guy from
Tominaga?
Tominaga. Yes, he plays very similar to Tominaga. He's a little bit taller, but he just puts up shots like whenever, like just like it's like, oh, you probably shouldn't be shooting. Oh, there's another three. He also is really good off the dribble. So if I was gonna pick a player that was gonna score 30 points against Illinois tomorrow and give them a really close game, I'm not gonna say upset. I don't even want to think about that. But I would be most worried about Wei Lin tomorrow. But this team does have talent. I think they were ranked at the beginning of the season, or at least predicted in the top five of the Big Ten. Um, but it's kind of the wheels have fallen off the track for them. They did lose to Northwestern in their most recent game on a buzzer beater by Nick Martinelli in Evanston against Northwestern at home. So that couldn't have been too great for them. But before that, they did beat UCLA, I think, which was surprising to me. I was watching that game. It was a late night game. Or no, I'm sorry, they beat Wisconsin. Am I crazy or did they beat Wisconsin? No, they beat Wisconsin at home in their last game before they lost to Northwestern. So they had a USC win before that as well. They beat USC 71 to 70. They beat Wisconsin 85 to 71. They actually rolled Wisconsin at home, and then they lost by one to Northwestern. So in their last three, they've shown a little bit of life. Are you
Wisconsin's
worried?
got to have some of the best wins and the worst losses in the country.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Wisconsin right now. We're talking about Illinois. Are you worried about this game tomorrow?
Hell nah.
I
This
figured you
game,
wouldn't be.
I'm not worried about it, but I'm interested to see if it'll be another, you know, Oregon situation. That's basically become a term now, as like an Oregon game. So hopefully it can be another
You
Oregon
coined that a
game.
term for sure. We've used that so many times this year.
Yeah, every game
Whenever
we
we
predict it's going to be an Oregon game.
Yeah, whenever we expect us to hit 15 threes and the absolute best offense we've ever seen, it's an Oregon game.
Well, this
But
line is 18 and a half right now.
if
So
if I were to take that right
that's
now,
pretty crazy.
I'm honestly I would take Oregon if I was gonna pick anything right
How
now.
many conference games do you see that line? That's crazy.
Very few. But Oregon's traveling from the West Coast to Illinois. This is their second game in the Chicago area road trip that they have, and
Biddle reminds me of that freak Kurtwig from Loyola, who I still have nightmares
Yeah,
about.
Krutwig. Yeah.
Krutwig.
Yeah,
Hate
kind of
that
similar,
guy.
but Krutwig couldn't shoot the three as well as Biddle could.
Krutwig, I think, now works at Best Buy. He's in the Geek Squad.
The Geek Squad, huh?
Yeah.
Are you said you weren't concerned. Do you think 18 and a half points is like, would you take that as a betting person or are
I mean,
you?
if Illinois is mad, they might win by 30, but
Yeah, I mean, what are you
they,
expecting?
they,
Is Illinois pissed off? Do they
they
like,
might be. I think they're dejected. They don't. I don't know. I
it's a big
I hope
opportunity.
they're mad because I'll tell
If
you this. It doesn't take much to get this Illinois team back on the tracks. Just one win, one really good win, and we're right back on the tracks, baby. We're derailed. We got derailed, but just one great Merc performance that hypes the whole team up. We're right back on the tracks. So I think the next two games is crucial because the last game of the season is away, I'm
Maryland,
pretty sure. Right.
yeah. But I was
So,
just gonna make a point.
well, it's senior night too.
Well, it's senior night tomorrow, so that should be pretty influential for the Illini. And it's Kylan's last game in the State Farm Center. It'll be Ben Humrickhouse's last game in the State Farm Center.
Keaton Wagler's last game at the State Farm Center too.
Most likely, yes. And then
And,
everybody's
and Andrei Stojakovic's last game at the State Farm Center.
probably that too. And then also, it'll most likely be, or not most likely, it'll definitely be AJ Red's last game. So that will get the fans going.
Is he a senior too?
Yeah, he's a senior. He was like a manager as a freshman too. So he's everybody's favorite player. Sexy Red. Um,
Yeah, they just dropped a video about him.
they dropped a Kylan video too. I
Yeah.
mean, it's arguably Petrovic's last game at the State Farm Center, unless he transfers to a Big Ten program and plays them on the road sometime. But that should
Could
be
you imagine if Michigan takes
no,
Petro and turns him into a fucking all-star?
no way. Um, but anyways, I forgot senior night will be important to them. Um, and like Brad couldn't have planned this. Like I know the coaches schedule games like a few years in advance or like a year in advance. So I don't think it was like necessarily great planning on Brad's end. And if you think about it, at the beginning of the year, ending the season with Michigan at home, Oregon, who was a top 25 team at home, and then going on the road to play Maryland, who has always been a thorn in the Illini side, that could have potentially been like the worst ending three games the Illini could have faced. But it did end up being pretty beneficial for them because Oregon's not very good. And I don't think anybody was predicting that as long as Jackson Shellstad was going to play. And then Maryland lost for Al Payne, so they're not very good either. But um, so in that sense, we kind of got lucky with the last two games because they're kind of not bye games. We definitely want to right the ship with these two. But uh, anyways, score prediction and MVP for tomorrow.
MVP, who was it last year? Was KJ the MVP? I think Tommy. I
I
mean,
think it
that
was
game
Ben
last,
Humrickhouse. Or no, it was Jake. It was the first Jake Davis game against Oregon. Remember, he had 15 points.
they had like 150 points, so
They had
damn near
109,
everybody
but yeah.
everybody ate that night. But shit, might see a I mean, Jake Davis, he likes that arena. Could it be a Jake Davis game? Could be a, I think, well, I guess it's in Champaign, so that
And you
argument kind of goes out the damn window.
like champagne too, so
Well, I'm thinking from a senior perspective, gotta go with one of the seniors.
okay.
Kylan makes the most sense. Ben could easily go off and have a, be the player of the game, but out of respect, I'm gonna go with the Champagne Kid. And I do like how Kylan literally every time he gets in front of a microphone, they ask him the same freaking questions. What's it like playing for the team that you grew up in the hometown? And he's like, yeah, it's really cool, playing for my hometown team. My family's here. And you could tell he's just sick of giving the same answer, but it's like, stop asking him the same damn question all the time. So I think Kylan's going to be the MVP. I'm going to predict 29 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover. And final score, I'm gonna say Illinois is mad. They're angry. They saw those Merez videos, Merck especially. I should be probably predicting a Merck MVP just because his reaction from last game, he looked pissed off. I think he's been practicing, he's trying hard. Uh, and final score, I'm gonna go Illinois 103. No, 102. 102. Let's not get cocky. Oregon, I'm gonna go 49. Fucking spanking.
Oh my goodness. That'll be the largest margin of victory, I think, this
What
entire
is that? 53 points?
102 to 49. Yeah, 53 points. All right. That would be a historic win for the Illini.
Last year
Um,
was the historic win against Oregon, and this year's going to be a historic win against Oregon.
I mean, I would prefer them to do that. Uh, I don't think it'll be as much of a slaughter. I'm not going to give a game prediction, at least a score prediction, until they win again. So I'm going to hold off on a score prediction. I do think the Illini will win this game, but I could see it being a little bit choppy at points. I think at a certain point we see a really pissed off Brad Underwood, and he's screaming at the team because like senior night should be a night where they like have their crap together and they start off really hot, and I just don't see that happening. So I could see Brad having a timeout moment where he's like, "Wake the hell up! What are we doing?" And then Kylan gets it together and he's like, "We're not letting this team lose on senior night in my last game at State Farm Center."
What
Not
they
gonna
need to
predict the score,
do,
but
they need to bring the Merez Johnson clown sign back for this game, just to reiterate that he is a clown. I saw that sign. Honestly, as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh man, we're gonna lose." Like, you can't make that sign, man. Come on, you're just asking for him to have a freaking flu game like performance. I mean, and then at the end when they're all waiting for him in the locker room, they're like, "Where's Rez? Where's Rez?" Well, did Illinois have a nickname for him? I can't remember.
called him Rose.
We call him Rez?
Hmm.
Okay. Well, guess what? You stole that from us. We called him that first.
I think
You
he was being
can't
called.
call him that.
I think he's been getting called Rez since he was probably a 2 year.
No, I'm pretty sure actually I started that one on
Okay.
Instagram comments. I was like, "Yo, Rez, thanks for committing to Illinois. Shout out to you. You should come on our future podcast that doesn't exist yet, but it will." And he
You
said he
really
would, and he ain't here.
you can't
He's
let
all
Michigan go,
talk.
man. You can't let
He's all
Michigan go.
talk. What
You
if he
can't
just
let
popped in the Zoom call right now? And was like, I heard you talking shit.
somebody leak the Zoom link for him.
Please,
Anyways,
Rez, I was kidding.
I thought we were done with talking about Michigan, man. I thought we were done with that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My MVP pick for tomorrow's Oregon game, because that's a game we actually still have to play. I'm gonna go with Ben Hummerkaus. I'm fairly confident the senior is gonna have a good showing in his last game in State Farm Center. I'm gonna call it 18 points, and they're all on threes tomorrow. He's gonna make 6 threes, and he's only gonna shoot 8 of them. And they're gonna be open. They're gonna be open threes too. It's not like this pass the ball down the court to Ben and he chucks it up right away. They're gonna be
Well, and
smooth
I'll say
threes.
this. I'm pretty sure at one point in that first half, Ben had a really cool dunk in that Michigan game, and it kind of
He did.
revived us like momentarily. And I
Yeah,
was
he had a
like,
putback dunk.
yes, yeah.
All right, actually, take that back. I'm going 17 points from Humrick House, five threes, and one putback dunk.
I'm gonna go 50 points from Rickhouse, all from putback dunks.
Okay, we're getting wild now. Yeah, this is we're the kings of saying it's going to be a short podcast and then ending up doing like 45 minutes to nearly an hour. So, I think it's about time we wrap this
Yeah,
one
I
up.
blame you for bringing up Jelly Roll so damn much.
I blame you for bringing up Michigan every single time you forget about them
It's
and
a
you get sad
Michigan
about it.
recap, bro.
I know, but I said we were going to close
We're
that
doing a Michigan
chapter.
recap, and he gets mad at bringing up Michigan.
Enough Michigan for the rest of the Chillinois basketball podcast after this one. I'm sick of it. Sick of them. Illinois will face Oregon tomorrow. I'm excited because this is a winnable game, and I need to see them get the ship right before March. March is upon us. There's conference tournaments already beginning tonight. The Horizon League started. Tomorrow, there's other smaller conferences that will start their tournaments. This is my favorite time of college basketball because there's games on from like 10 a.m. to like 10 p.m. every single day. And it's going to start next week with the Big Ten tournament, the Big East tournament. Speaking of the Big East, shout out to Paul. I needed to stop or end the podcast with a DePaul shout out. Let me get my hat real quick. Shout out to Paul.
Currently
Their
sitting
first ever. What
alone.
is it? What did you say? Is their first ever
Well, it's the first of
three
so
road
many things. I
wins?
mean, we've broke so many school records with this season, but we're sitting alone at fifth place right now in the Big East.
And if they beat
And
Villanova and beat they play Villanova and what, Seton Hall in their last game?
no, we play Villanova and we play
Xavier, I think.
Xavier. No,
And if we
Butler.
win
We play Butler.
Butler, yeah, yeah. No, no.
It is Butler. And Seton Hall has to play St. John's and Xavier. If Seton Hall loses out and DePaul wins out, we'll finish fourth in the Big East.
That's
When I was like
Possible
crazy.
watching American Idol.
Sorry.
possible
I got to
invitation.
tell me ESPN ad.
Dude, ESPN sucks. Possible invitation in the big to the March Madness tournament if we finish in fourth. Because Seton
No
Hall's in
way.
fourth right now. Seton Hall's in fourth place, and they're on the bubble. They want Seton Hall in. And if we kick Seton Hall out, maybe we get in. I don't know. Especially with
Seton
that,
Hall
if we can
19 and
beat
10 and
Villanova.
DePaul has three more losses than Seton Hall and three less wins. So
Yeah, well, if we win two and they lose two, and then we win, like, what if we just straight up win the Big East tournament? Fuck the record. We just win the Big East tournament.
I
Who's
would be
stopping us?
ecstatic about that. But
We're on
that's
we're on a
enough.
s- we're
We're gonna
rolling
go
right
on for
now.
another half hour about DePaul if we keep it up.
Yeah, we're gonna do that for the Blue Demon podcast that we start in the off season.
Well, it'll just be the Chillinois basketball podcast because, like I learned about 2 weeks ago, Chillinois stands for Chicago, Illinois, not Chill, Illinois.
Who determined that? Did somebody make that determination?
No, but I figured if we had started adding a little sprinkle of DePaul, it would make sense for it to be
Well,
Chicago.
okay, if it stood for Chicago, Illinois, then we're already off to a bad start because Champaign is not in Chicago. What if it stands for Champaign, Illinois?
We talk about the Illinois surrounding teams, but
Okay.
anyway,
NIU Huskies, baby.
oh gosh, you couldn't even pay me to talk about the Northern Illinois Huskies. Uh, Shout out to Paul. They're in a good spot, and their culture is certainly turning around. Shout out Illinois. They have a game tomorrow against Oregon, as I've said like 85 times on this podcast today. Let's check. That one's on Big Ten Network, I think.
No, I
Nope,
want to say
Peacock, it's Peacock,
yeah.
or NBC Sports Network. So it's on live TV, but also Peacock. 8 p.m. tomorrow, so the late one. Um, I'm hopeful they get it turned around. I think this is a perfect opportunity for this Illinois team to go into the Big Ten tournament in March with some momentum in their last two games. I'm confident and I'm very hopeful that will happen. I think this team has the headspace and the right mental capacity to be able to do that compared to last year's team where I don't think they maybe were able to do that as well. But we'll see. We're gonna find out tomorrow if Illinois can bounce back from being punched in the mouth after their Michigan loss. If they win this game and they win against Maryland, I'm fairly confident, not fairly confident, I'm actually certain they will lock up the four seed at the bare minimum. So they'll get the triple bye for the Big Ten tournament. But we'll definitely talk about that in the upcoming days because The
They're
seeding
definitely they're
change.
getting it over Purdue. Purdue's butt cheeks right now, and they just keep
Dude,
losing.
Purdue,
Feel bad for
Purdue
them.
was bad for a team that was ranked number one at the beginning of the year. But I think after Maryland, we should do like a Big Ten tournament preview, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Big Ten in general. Um, but be on the lookout for more episodes. Somebody commented on our Michigan preview and said like delayed recap, guys, and I was just like, sorry, like we couldn't even bring ourselves to do it, but it's finally
Bro,
here. So it's here in all its glory. 50 minutes, like an hour of recapping and previewing Oregon. So you got what you asked for. Um, it was Noah's flu game too, so it's a lot of Noah just.
yeah, and Chase plays like old lady board games
Dude, I
every
play
single
euchre.
Monday.
Okay, I play euchre. It's a fun game. It's a fun card game. Admittedly, we lost in the playoffs, and I was pissed off because there was not. Sometimes it's one of those games.
You play competitively?
Yeah, we pay. We won the league
You
last year.
pay money?
Dude, we won the league last year. My team of four people, we won $800. It was dope.
Okay, well that's crazy that the grand prize is
Well, there's
$800.
like 40 teams and everybody pays 40 bucks to enter. So,
I guess that's not a big fee. All right, I guess I was expecting more. Yeah, we got
yeah,
our boy Logan. Logan said delayed recap. He left another comment too. I
I
think
hope
he's a Michigan fan. He's
I think
hating.
he is. I think he is.
Listen, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, congratulations. Get
Shout
ready
out
for
Logan.
another get ready for another 6 years of Daddy Brad belting you.
We always have next year to play Michigan or the Big Ten tournament or potentially the Final Four if we see them. But this has been another recap and preview from the Chillinois basketball podcast, guys. Man, dude, this one was a long one, and we said it was gonna be short.
Bro,
So
I know.
it's all right. We give the fans what they want, hopefully what they want. Lots of content. We will have a recap sooner than we did it for the Michigan game after the Oregon game. I can promise you that one. But they have a game tomorrow, and all we can hope is that they win or play. Just Brad, please have this team ready to start this game tomorrow. That's all I ask. Noah, ILL.
I